Welcome to the ATU Sports Corner. I'm your host, Donovan Warren, with my other hosts, Caden and Brandon. Today is October 6th, and we're going to start it off with the NFL recap. Our first game is Broncos versus the Eagles. The Eagles blew a 17-3 lead in this game. Caden, did you watch that one?
I did. This was a very good game, and surprisingly, if you didn't watch this one, Jalen Hurts only had 2 carries for 3 yards. Very uncharacteristic of Hurts, but he was attacking through the air. He had a beautiful game overall. It was fun to watch. Now on the other side, the Broncos, they also played a phenomenal game. Moix is proving that in his second year, he's not falling into a sophomore slump, but he's continuing to play good, and the rest of his offense is coming along with him. The defense came up real big in that fourth quarter, allowing their offense to get more and more drives and to develop longer drives and to get points out of it.
Yeah, one really weird thing about this game is the lack of rush attempts from the Eagles in general. You mentioned Hurts only with 2 carries, but the whole team only had 11 carries for 45 yards.
6 from Barkley.
6 from Saquon for 30 yards. I don't really understand what the game plan was for that, especially being up by 14 points in the fourth quarter. It feels like you have an elite running back, you have a very good O-line, you have a good running quarterback. You'd think that you would keep the ball on the ground and try to steady the offense, just kind of run the clock out. And that's not what happened at all. They kept throwing the ball, and Devontae Smith had a very good game through the air, over 100 yards, but still, just trust the ground game.
And Barkley wasn't running bad either. I mean, he had 6 carries for 30 yards. It's 5 yards a carry. Overall, as a team, they were averaging 4.1 yards a carry. Why are you not keeping the ball on the ground, especially when you're holding a 2-possession lead in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, and about the run game, the Broncos did have a very good run game. J.K. Dobbins, 20 carries for 79 yards. Moix had 22 yards himself. They were 4.5 yards per carry as a team on 29 attempts. I just have a hard time understanding why the team that made the comeback has almost 15 or over 15 more carries than the team that had the lead the whole game.
Sirianni always has some questionable coaching decisions, and this one was definitely one of them.
Our next game was a very intense one with the Buccaneers against the Seahawks, with both QBs Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold passing over 300 yards. What do y'all think about those stats?
Yeah, I mean, both of these quarterbacks are playing at a super high level, and Baker Mayfield did that without his top target in Mike Evans. Emeka Egbuka, though, has been absolutely incredible ever since they drafted him. He had 163 yards and a touchdown in this one, and he's really starting to look like one of the better receivers in the league already. He's been absolutely incredible all year, and he's really filling in the absence of Evans, and Godwin is just now coming back from injury, and he's really helping him kind of be steady in that comeback, not have to do too much, carry too much of a load. Caden also had a very good game. He hasn't really had the best of a year so far, but he had over 80 yards in this one, and the Bucs offense starting to look like they did last year.
If you know me, you know that Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield are 2 of my favorite quarterbacks. I've always been a big fan of Baker. Sam Darnold has recently came along last year with the Vikings, and they both showed that they can be top QBs in this league, especially yesterday. They both combined for 6 touchdowns total, over 300 yards each. This was a shootout, 38-35 finish. This is probably one of the highest for both teams this year. Both of them looked really good. Both offenses look amazing. The Seahawks defense has been pretty stout this year, but yesterday, Baker and his offense, they showed a phenomenal job of being able to exploit it and show that their offense can be top tier in this league, even with injuries.
Yeah, and speaking of the Seattle offense, one thing that did confuse me is Kenneth Walker had 10 carries for 86 yards.
Again, just like the Seahawks.
He has 8.6 yards a carry, and you don't give him the ball more than 10 times? Yeah. I don't understand that. And, of course, he has been a great running back throughout his entire career. It's not like this is some breakout performance, and they just weren't expecting it. They don't come to expect 8.6 yards per carry, obviously, but they expect a high level of production from K9. And I don't understand why they're not trusting him in more carries.
Yeah, it's very odd, especially with the team in the Bucs. They were missing Bucky Irving, and still Rachaad White, the backup running back, who is still very good. He was a starter for a long time, has more carries than Kenneth Walker, who is a Pro Bowl level, is a Pro Bowler in K9. I mean, you would think he would be getting more carries than a backup running back in Rachaad White against a team like the Bucs, who are very pass-heavy with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, one thing I will take a look at in the future with this Bucs team, if Bucky Irving does remain out, is will Rachaad White continue to have that much of the carry share in the backfield? I know a lot of people talked about Sean Tucker potentially taking on a lot of those carries. That wasn't the case. He had just 3 carries in this game, but I wonder if that changes if Irving remains out.
Our last NFL game for the day is the Patriots against the Bills. Patriot QB Drake May led an upset yesterday. What do y'all think about Drake May?
This was a really good game in my opinion. Drake May, he didn't have any touchdowns on the board, which is a little different from May. Sometimes he doesn't get them, but this offense still showed out and showed that they can be high level. And this Bills team, they took their first loss of the season to the Patriots, who I have always held to a high standard. I've thought this Patriots team was potentially top 10 from the beginning of the year. I really do like Drake May. All of these rookie quarterbacks from last year, matter of fact, are off to good starts. Him and Bo Nix picking up 2 huge wins this week. And this Patriots team continues to look good. Josh Allen got put on the ropes here, couldn't perform late, and they lose this one. James Cook was also pretty irrelevant in this one.
Yeah, the thing that obviously Stephon Diggs had an absolutely incredible game in his little bit of a revenge game against Buffalo. But what really impressed me in this one was the way Drake May dominated without a solid run game. They had just 22 carries for 71 yards on the game, and he went right down the field at the end of the game and took down the Buffalo Bills. I think from a young QB like May, I think the ability to steady the offense without really much of a running game at all. You know, they didn't have many yards, and also Ramondre also had a fumble. So I think the fact that he is showing that he can go on the road, have this type of performance without a running game is really impressive to me. I think Drake May is showing that he can be one of the better QBs in the league.
Now going to our predictions for tonight's game, we have the Chiefs versus the Jaguars at 7:15. Are y'all going to be watching that game tonight, Caden?
I am. I am actually also, people know, I am a huge Trevor Lawrence fan. Ever since he came out of Clemson, I have loved Trevor Lawrence and his game. Will it be enough to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? I don't know. It's in Jacksonville. Liam Cohen and his team, they've been okay to start this year. They only have 1 loss on the season, and they proved that they could potentially be a contender in the AFC. I don't know how much that will hold up, but tonight at home with the Chiefs team that is still trying to figure it out, I know they've gotten it going a little bit more here as of late, but I think the Jags can pick up a huge win as underdogs tonight in Jacksonville.
I'm not going to agree with you on this one. I think Mahomes is going to be able to get it done on the road. I feel like I just don't really trust this Jacksonville offense right now. The way Brian Thomas has really struggled, the way Travis Hunter is yet to pop offensively in his rookie season. And their running game really isn't all that either. I know Etienne is a very solid back, but I don't think he's really going to pop and give them that offensive explosion they'll need to take down the Chiefs. And I think that Mahomes is going to be able to spread the ball around and get it to Hollywood if Hollywood does play. I know there was a little bit of injury concern with him, but Juju Smith-Schuster had a very good game last week, and of course Travis Kelce will be there for him. I think he's going to be good enough to get the job done on the road.
Also, Worthy is questionable with some ankle problems that could also create some potential issues for this Chiefs offense just going against this Jags defense, who hasn't just been terrible. Trevor Lawrence hasn't had amazing stats, but this defense has done a nice job of backing him up, and it's going to be interesting to see if Worthy plays or not.
Mm-hmm.
We are now going to go off to break, but when we come back, we will be doing our college football pick'em to finish out the show.
Every 36 seconds, a vehicle is stolen in the United States. Cars are an important investment, and you have the power to protect it. Remove valuables from your car or place out of view. Roll up your windows completely. Don't leave your car running while unattended, especially during the winter. And always lock your doors and take your keys or fob with you. If you know something about a vehicle theft, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB.
This is a public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but strength, knowledge, and wisdom are what you build along the way. There's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, you write your own script to what comes next. So here's your cue. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
We are back with the college football pick'em. We're going to do a little bit of a recap on the points on the board. Both of them won their predictions with Miami and FSU. Brandon won his prediction with Alabama winning last week, and Caden won with his Virginia pick last week. We're now going to go off to Alabama against Missouri. Can Bama stay hot for this week?
I don't think they can. I'm going to roll with Missouri in this one. I don't really believe in Alabama's ground game to make the travel to Columbia, and I think, I think that's exactly what Missouri does really thrive in is their run game. Bo Perbula is a very good running quarterback, and Ahmad Hardy is arguably the best running back in the nation right now, has 730 yards, 9 touchdowns on the ground. He's been incredible for them all year. He had that absolutely massive game in that big rivalry matchup against Kansas. And I think we'll see more of the same with Alabama kind of struggling in that ground game and Missouri dominating in that facet. And I think it'll be enough for the Tigers to get the job done.
Yeah, when you mentioned that struggling running game, Alabama only has 182 yards to Hardy's 730 as their top leading rushers. But I'm a really big fan of Ty Simpson personally. He has 13 touchdowns to 1 interception on the year so far. And I think Ty Simpson, Kalen DeBoer, they were both really doubted in the SEC coming into this season. But I think Ty Simpson can pick up another big win in the SEC and knock down the Tigers and also continue on a hot streak. They picked up a big win against Diego Pavia and Vandy last week. I think they continue on this week. It's going to be an away game, and this line has moved a lot. I just saw it move from -5.5 to -2.5 in favor of Bama. That's a lot of movement, especially early on in this week. It's only Monday. So something has to be going on, but I still like Ty Simpson. I'm a huge fan of him, and I think Bama can pick up another big win.
I think Ty Simpson is a very good quarterback, but I actually don't think he's even the best quarterback in this matchup. I think Bo Perbula is playing at a super high level for Missouri right now, and I think it will continue that. He had a very good game against Kansas where he had over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. Also had some nice work on the ground, and I think he can continue that against Alabama. I think that this is also kind of a little bit of a letdown spot for Alabama, if I'm being honest. They just came off 2 massive wins that everyone's kind of hyping them up for. And I feel like in the DeBoer era, these losses have been kind of that type of game where they came off a big win and then they kind of just lay an egg the next week.
Our next game is a very intense one with the Big Ten undefeated showdown, Indiana against Oregon. Caden, what's your prediction on that one? You think Oregon's going to win?
I do not, actually. This is going to be quite the hot take, especially with Oregon being at home. They are over a touchdown favorite. I possibly could have took this as my underdog pick, but I didn't just because it's already a game of the week. I think the Hoosiers, they've had a rocky start to the season, not as good of you. I mean, they're 5-0, but they've also had some questionable games. They picked up a very big win against Illinois not too long ago, and I honestly love their quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. He has been incredible this year, 16 touchdowns to just 1 interception. He has been phenomenal. I think this continues on, even against this really good Oregon defense. They have a really stout Big Ten defense, plays true to their conference. But I think the Hoosiers come into Oregon and take home a huge, huge win.
I don't know about all that. I am also super high on Fernando Mendoza. I think he actually is the best quarterback in the country right now. But this Oregon team is just much more complete. Dante Moore is also probably a top 5 quarterback in the country, and he is absolutely playing like it, even though he doesn't really have a top-tier #1 receiver. But that Oregon ground game, man, they've got 4 legit, very good running backs. De'Ara Hill, Jaden Lamar, Noah Whittington, and Mekhi Hughes all play at a super high level. All those guys are very capable of being a #1 running back on a very good team. And also Dante Moore himself is a very good runner out of the backfield. And I just don't think that Indiana can keep up on the ground game. I think the ball's going to get ran right down the throat all night, and I don't think they can handle that on the road.
So with Mendoza and Moore, 2 top quarterbacks, their stats are pretty identical, 1208 to 1210 in passing yards, 16 to 14 in touchdowns. If you had to take one guy to have a better game this weekend, who are you taking?
That's tough. I think I actually will take Dante Moore, even though I think Mendoza's the better quarterback, because I think they're going to have to lean on Mendoza a lot more. I don't think Moore is going to have as much pressure on him to kind of carry the offense as Mendoza has. Hemby is a very good running back, but I don't think the O-line for Indiana is as good as Oregon's, and I think Oregon's defense, especially their run defense, is much better than Indiana's is, and I think that's going to be the difference.
Our last game is Oklahoma versus Texas, and it has Oklahoma fans a little bit worried with John Mateer unlikely to play this game. What do y'all think is in store for Oklahoma?
This is a weird one with Mateer being out and Texas coming off a very disappointing loss against Florida. This game not nearly as hyped as it seemed it might be before the year started. And despite that ugly loss to Florida, I am actually going to take the Longhorns. I think that defense is going to be absolutely crucial in this game to taking down Oklahoma. And without Mateer back there, I just don't really trust this Oklahoma offense to really get much generating against a Texas defense that is very good. I know they haven't really shown that as much, but their defense is not the problem. The offense has been the problem in both of their losses. And I think if they do lose this game, that will continue to be the problem. But I think their offense will be good enough to get the job done in the Cotton Bowl.
I'm going to go the opposite way again. We've actually picked different in all 3 games this week, but I am going to take Boomer Sooner. Michael Hawkins Jr. is the current starting quarterback for the Sooners. He played quarterback for him a little bit last year, never really did anything too crazy. But if I'm being honest, Arch Manning has been severely underwhelming to me. This Texas team has not impressed me not one bit. No disrespect to Florida, but Florida hasn't really impressed me either, and they lost that one pretty easily last week to the Gators. So I don't know if Arch Manning is going to be able to play football at this high level, at least yet. He has 11 touchdowns to 5 interceptions so far on this season. I think Michael Hawkins, Torrey Blaylock, this Oklahoma offense, I think it'll be able to keep up enough for this Red River rivalry. And this is honestly, in my opinion, been one of the least anticipated Red River rivalries that we've seen in recent years.
Yeah, I think one thing that'll be a really big swing factor in this game is Contravion Wisner, He has been a very good running back for Texas in the past, but he's dealt with a lot of injury issues so far this year. I think if he can come out healthy and really produce for the Longhorns, I think that will be a massive difference in this game.
We're now going to finish off our college football pick'em with the underdog of the week. So what is y'all's picks for this week?
I'm rolling with Florida to get another big upset, this time on the road against Texas A&M. I think they finally found an identity coming out of that bye and playing at home against Texas. And that identity is running the ball. I think they really tried to throw it too much early on in the season, lean too much on DJ Lagway's arm. But Jaden Baugh is an absolutely incredible running back. DJ Lagway is a very good running quarterback. And I think they have realized that run game is going to be there no matter what. And they also have a very good defense. And when you're going on the road in the SEC, those are the 2 most important things. And I think that they can go into Kyle Field and get it done.
I think they could. That Aggies team is really good, but DJ Lagway has shown flashes to where he can be a top SEC quarterback like he was supposed to be. For my pick, I am going to take the Maryland Terrapins at home against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. This Maryland team, they're 4-1, not super flashy. You don't hear anything about them in the news, really, but you hear more about Nebraska. I mean, they have Dylan Raiola, the fake Patrick Mahomes, but he doesn't impress me too much. He does, but not enough to take down the Terrapins at home. This line is really high in my opinion. It has moved a little bit, but I like the Terrapins. Malik Washington, the freshman quarterback for Maryland, has been pretty good. He has 1,200 yards accompanied with 9 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions this year. And they also have a really good freshman on the defensive line in Sidney Stewart, who already has 4.5 sacks this year. Both of them being freshmen, this team is young, but they've also showed that they can compete at a high level. They took a rough loss to Washington 24-20 this past week, but I think they bounce back this week and improve to 5-1.
Let's hope those predictions are right. That is all we have for the ATU Sports Corner this week. I want to thank you for watching, and make sure to tune in next Monday.